So it was funny because I was talking to Cassie about this, and I said, you know, there's so many stories that we have in our lives that I wasn't sure which one to pick. And I thought, maybe I should have one of you guys have a theme. And then I thought, that could be really dangerous. The one that I chose is a little more, we're going to start maybe a little more earthy and subtle, but to preface it, my background has been in ballet, and I was called what I would call a total bunhead. Everything about it was exactly what I wanted. It was scientific, it was methodical, it was very disciplined, like very disciplined for a young woman. And it was exactly what I needed, because I didn't really have a voice when I was younger. I used to get straight A's all the time, and the only little thing they would always put at the end is that she never talks much. She'll answer a question if you ask her specifically to answer the question, but otherwise she'll just sit there. And then I went from the ballet world into a very codified modern program that was Martha Graham based, and that was through Dance Kaleidoscope and David Hochoy, one of my true mentors. And I was with them for 8 years. I was a company teacher and rehearsal director and principal dancer, so I kind of got the whole gamut of that. We were on tour in Seaside, Florida, which is anybody seen the movie The Truman Show? Okay, that was based in Seaside, that town that looks like it was a total setup. I walked through that neighborhood, and it really looks like that. Perfectly clipped, perfectly groomed, perfectly everything. It was very surreal. And as a dancer, you take everything into your body that you have. Well, the other part about that is that we were performing on the beach in a set-up stage. It was a big, giant stage. And we had one dress rehearsal, and we had, I believe it was 40-mile-an-hour winds. So basically, you've got all these dancers, these tiny little dancers in very thin costumes, trying to go against the wind and do lifts and things. And it was just very interesting, because literally you would stand and you would start to do this, and you couldn't stand. But the part of the story that I wanted to look at is a lesson that I learned. And it was more about being in touch with the universe, and the lesson was surrender. And I know that normally, you know that should be one of your things sometimes. Like, okay, just back off on this fight, or just back up on this disagreement, or just you can't change the traffic on I-465, so just back off and surrender. But how many times do we actually practice that, or consciously choose that, and the sense of ease and joy that you'll get if you actually choose that? That's what they say in Tai Chi, as well as other things, about never get overly attached to the outcome. Yeah, you can't force it anyway. So we were doing a dress rehearsal the night before, and there was this beautiful sushi restaurant, and there was also a Bikram yoga studio. So I went off on myself after the whole day of work, and I'm going to take Bikram, and I'm going to have all the sushi and cleanse my body and fill it with good stuff. And sure enough, the sushi was not good. So I got sick overnight. I was sick the whole rest of the next day. We had our final dress rehearsal that night, and I hadn't eaten in 24 hours, and I couldn't. It was strange. Sometimes you can't really walk or do other things you need to, but as soon as the music goes on, you can dance. I don't know if you felt that, with Runner's Zone and Runner's High or other things that you do, where everything just falls away. And it's kind of like right now, I can barely see you. I can hear myself and I can see the microphone, but I can't really see you. So that did happen. We were supposed to read everything. I told most of my mates that I was going to just mark as much as I could. And then I went out for a solo. And it was literally at that point, if you've ever been there, where you can't go on, but you have to go on. So I did this whole solo that was playing David Hochoy's mother. I believe she was deceased by then. And it was just very, very meaningful all through the gut. And then I went with, out to dinner with the whole clan because we only had one van, and I was like, I'll sleep in the van after I get some crackers. And somebody came up to me, and it was one of those moments, it's like an angel coming up to you and stopping and just like, did you do that solo? And I'm like, yeah, sorry, I know it was a little bit. He goes, it was the most breathtaking thing I've seen. And it stunned me. And it stunned me, so I looked down, and I looked up, and he was gone. And we're in the middle of a restaurant, and it's sort of, and there's moments where you think there's like an angel that came and just reaffirmed you. But the whole time I did the solo, all I thought about was surrender, because I can't do anything about it. So that lesson, I guess, is just to consciously have that as something in your toolkit, in your back pocket. If you're finding yourself at a very difficult choice in the road, or something where it's just against, all odds, that maybe there's a choice to just completely surrender and just see what happens. So, thank you.